Am I the a-hole for only keeping photos of my daughter in the garage while my stepdaughter's photos are in the house? My partner's daughter, 20, is well. Awful. She was a very dour kid and often made things very difficult in our house with extreme meltdowns and mean behavior towards my daughter. This was always an issue for my daughter, 23, but she handled things pretty well and understood the position I'm in with her stepmom. But our coexistence all came crashing down 2 years ago when my daughter unleashed on her stepsister and sent her a long, angry message about how she was treated and her opinion of her. In my opinion, her stepsister was indeed a terror, but my daughter is 3.5 years older and should have understood the tight spot I was in and been the bigger person. Stepdaughter is still a little moody, but she stopped being mean to my daughter a few years ago. Time has passed and it's time to move on. This understandably made things very difficult for me. My wife dislikes my daughter now and my stepdaughter hates her. My daughter has barely spoken to me for the last 2 years since I moved across the country with her stepmom and blew up at me about stuff that happened in the last 10 years with her stepmom and sister. Petty childish tit-for-tat stuff like not getting new stuff like her sister, the food in the house being stuff her sister liked, or her sister being mean to her with no interference from us. She claims it rose to the level of bullying, but my own sister, a teacher, said that's just how siblings are, and I agree. She thinks her stepmom treated her sister better, but my wife was very kind to my daughter by thinking of her at all. Many step-parents wouldn't, and she was never mean to her, only disliking her to protect her own daughter when mine decided to be confrontational. My wife is the breadwinner, and I am not my daughter's only parent, so she did not have to have everything be equal in my house. My stepdaughter, on the other hand, only has her mother, so of course things were slightly skewed in her favor at ours. That's the way it should work. On to the issue at hand. She came to visit for the first time and saw that we don't have photos of her in the house. I have photos of her in my office in the garage, but she's upset that there are none of her in public in the house, unlike stepdaughter. My wife doesn't want to subject my stepdaughter to photos in the house of someone who messaged her telling her she was a brat, and I can't blame her. Stepdaughter lives here, and daughter doesn't. Why would we have photos of her in view of stepdaughter? Am I wrong here?